Just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone to Together We Rise, Building Our Nation. And this morning I am here with, I would say, one of the most interesting person I've met from my community. I'm just gonna big up my community, big up Melsom Ridge. And Ridge is where she's from over that side. Melsom Ridge, Browns Hill, South St. Elizabeth. And this morning we have with us no other than Tiffany Smith-McLynch, a powerful woman,
Right.
in Jamaica, a wellness person, who totally sold out to wellness, you know. But behind all of this, there's a story, and she has been nominated by the Caribbean Push Icon Woman Awards in the area of entrepreneur excellence. But I'm going to tell you guys, this comes with a story. So, Tiffany, we just want to say welcome to Together We Rise, Building Our Nation.
Hi, Ian. Thank you very much for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I've watched a lot of your other videos and I really love what you're doing. So keep it up. And thanks for having me.
All right, Tiffany. And, we're just going to get straight into it. And my first question is, how does it feel to be alive and here on the Together We Rise Building Our Nation show to share your story, knowing that you have come this close to death? Not many people in the world can say, I was like right at death door and here I am.
Trust me, it's a phenomenal feeling. And oftentimes, whenever I'm down in the rough or down in the valley, I tend to look at it. And that's what I really look at every day to have some form of gratitude and to just give back the best way I can. And trust me, it's awesome to be here on your program today. It feels amazing just being alive.
Well, Tiffany, as we shared on my Facebook page, and you have also shared it to your page. We have seen where you have been nomin we one of the nominee for this prestigious award, you know, entrepreneur excellence. That is a big accomplishment. But from what I've learned and I've read your book, Blue Hands, in a striking title for a book. So, just before we get into the meat of the matter in terms of the fact that you are a nominee, and we're looking for you guys to go out there and vote. But after today, and you learn her story, I'm sure everyone is just going to go out there and vote. Tiffany, could you just tell us what your life was before in a diagnosis? Just kind of guide us through, and then we're going to take the people into the meat of the matter.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I'll grab a copy of the book so I can just show you. So it's Blue Hands, A Walk with Death Awakens Purpose. So just to bring you a bit through the journey, uh, let's see, let's backtrack. All right, so pretty much Blue Hands came from an inspiration of what actually happened to me. My hands, yes, became blue because technically I was out. My heart had stopped. So, cyanosis and everything kind of was kicking in. So my hands were blue. And that's the name of the book, Blue Hands, A Walk with Death Awakens Purpose. And it was not really through me that I even named the book Blue Hands. It's really downloaded. It was downloaded to me by the creator himself, who did give me the inspiration to write the book about my journey. So I technically was dead, technically speaking, and I was revived in the doctor's office and I did surgery. And during that moment, it dawned on me, especially when I was in recovery. I remember just being at peace. And even before going in surgery, I was like very much at peace because I was speaking with God the entire time. And I felt like if it was my time to go, then it would have just been my time and I was peaceful about it. I remember the very moment. Coming out of surgery and recuperating and recovering, it's as if it built my relationship with God so much more that I started to tap into what he gave me, my God-given talents. So not just my skills that I gained through school, but actually my talents that are natural that came naturally to me. And and so I realized that my purpose in life or my passion both intertwined, and that is service. So that's giving to others. And I realized that, hey, this is the path I need to be walking on. And there, basically, from that moment, I've realized that that is the purpose I have here on earth, and I need to fulfill that. And that purpose is service. So, service through being a nurse and just giving my skills, service through community giving, community building, service through even writing my book and just being a motivational speaker, just pouring into others, service through self care at Tiffany's, providing products that people, holistic, natural products that people need for their hair, their skin. So, holistically giving service. And since that moment, it has been very clear to me. Yes, I do have my days when I doubt myself just as everybody else because after all, I'm human. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm walking in my purpose.
Okay. So that's a lot,
Mhm.
right there. And as I said, not many people in this world can come forth and share a story of them being that close to death. As you told me, it was total darkness. Heart stopped beating. And you're a nurse, so we we know we've seen this, you know, and you experiencing this is something serious. But what I want you to do, since we're gonna talk about nursing and we're on the topic of also illness, can you share a bit, you know,
Mhm.
to us most of the difficulties that you went through leading up to this? Because most people we get sick and we know that affects everything around us, affect us and things around us. So could you share a little about that? How this diagnosis had basically hit you or touched you at that point?
All right, so let's see. Pretty much, I'd say my experiences have not only revealed certain things to me, such as my purpose, but it has also helped me to be a better nurse, a better caregiver. And I think the experiences I went through actually made me realize, hey, at the end of the day, you are the one there directly with your patients at their lowest. And I mean at their lowest, meaning some patients are about to die at that moment. You're the last face that you're going to see. You're the last person that they will interact with. And as such, it has helped me to care better for patients because I'm always putting myself in the patient's position. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I've been here. I wouldn't want somebody to be shouting at me, somebody to be disrespecting me while I'm this in this state. So it helps me to give and give from a place where I've experienced certain things, so I'm going to give my best. And for me, if I'm not giving my best, I'm not going to be giving it at all. Because I don't believe in, okay, giving partial care. I believe in always giving my best. And as such, even throughout our day to day lives, I think my experience also has helped me to be more grounded and more centered because certain things that maybe I used to get myself attached to material things or so forth. It's as if none of those things matter anymore. Yes, I love the finest things of life, but when I realize that all of that can be gone in the blinking of an eye, and when you've been through certain things, you realize that these things don't really matter. It matters how you interact with people on a daily basis. It matters how you make people feel. And it matters at the end of the day what you're doing to pour into other people and not just pour into them, but helping them to realize that, hey, life is worth living and it's worth being your best and giving your best and just pouring from a place of overflow and not an empty vessel. So, you know, tying all of that in, it has led me to my business, Self Care at Tiffany's, where we focus on building a community. So what we have is a movement, and the movement basically is to help caregivers like myself, yourself, parents, teachers, police officers, anybody in the service, the area of service, to pour from a place that is overflowing and not a diminished cup. So I think my experiences have pretty much grounded me and helped me to help other people, and for that I am eternally grateful.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that. And I just want to say something. I just basically love the empowerment that you're doing, right across communities. What you're doing, you're touching lives. And I tell people sometimes if you don't see it or you don't experience it, then you really don't know it. And I can side with you in terms of having a patient, and when you walk in that room, how you see that person, how you present yourself. For
Yeah.
example, when I go into a patient room, just like you, I basically, first thing I see my mother. I don't know why I put mommy before daddy, but I see my mother first. Then I see my father. And the next thing, I put myself in that bed. I put myself in place of the patient, where the patient is at this time. And that's how I go about my care in terms of how I care for this patient. In that, I want to treat that patient just the way I treat my mother, the way I treat my father, and the way I would want somebody to treat me, you know. And I already know that that
Yes.
patient coming in is experiencing a chain reaction of things just happening, things going through their mind, things that's happening at home. Is there? It's something that you have to be a nurse to understand some of these things. So what I want you to do, Tiffany, is to kind of unpack some of your life in terms of some of the challenges that you went through that would affect your daily life, and some of the routine while you were going through this period and this particular time in life.
All right. Definitely. All right. So I think I'll share the experience where after I gave birth to my daughter. So for over a year, I was pretty much unable to do my daily tasks. If I cleaned the house, if I went too hard to do anything at all, I would experience severe pain. And that's because I was bleeding internally after having my daughter for over a year. If I lift the mop and I went from the bedroom to the kitchen with the mop to clean, I was experiencing pain. And not knowing if I was going to go every single night when I went to my bed, because basically, you and I know sepsis could have taken place. A lot of things could have happened. So I went to my bed every single night for over a year, not knowing if I was going to wake up to see the next day. And I mean, some people might think it's simple, but when you're in that position, it's very difficult. And I think you have to be connected a certain way to actually live and try to be normal during that whole period just the same. Because I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of everything trying to figure out what the cause was and everything. And just to know in the end, it was due to some medical challenge, some things that happened during my C-section with my daughter. And it was a rough period, I should say. It was very rough, especially after I found out what happened and the fact that I had to then have a hysterectomy at such an early age, and it wasn't by choice. That was very difficult for me to accept and to actually forgive, based on what I found out during, that happened during that time period. But I must say, standing at the other end today, I'm just so grateful that my daughter is here safe and sound. She's fine. I am healthy. I'm fine. Thanks be to God. So, I've overcome a lot of things, and through writing about it in Blue Hands, it actually helped me to release a lot of things that I had inside. And I remember the last night, because I only write certain time of the night in the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. hours. I don't write any other time. When the time is silent, still, when I hear nobody else. And I remember when I was writing that last bit of the book, I cried. And I mean, I wrote it in complete tears, and I felt like that's when I released everything that I needed to release. And afterwards, I didn't even know if I wanted to actually publish the book, but I know it helped me to heal. I know it helped me to get over some of the things I had bottled up inside. And yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you again here. And since we're down this topic, I really want you to also, because I know you go deep in terms of wellness, and the audience may not understand why I'm asking this chain of question, but we want to help others out there who are going through probably similar condition and things that happen. So, Tiffany, what I want to know, could you tell us some of the coping method, that you use to help you, you know, to go through this pain and the discomfort.
All right, sure, no issue. Firstly, yes, coping methods, writing was one of them. So that helped me a lot. Personally speaking, though I was a medical representative and I dealt with pharmaceuticals, I'm not really one for a lot of medication per se. So I don't tend to go to pain medication. So what I did during the time period, I tried to distract myself. So distraction therapy, and my business at the time was very good for that as well. So the time that I could manufacture, I went into manufacturing, formulating new products, and just holistically dealing with natural products. So moringa, which is one of the greatest power foods I know. I use a lot of moringa, just natural stuff, going back to turmeric and just things that come from the earth that are, or that tend to be more on the organic side as well, and just using those in my day-to-day life. And I still use them just the same. I just blended my green juice this morning, about to have it afterwards. So those are some of the things that I did use, and during the time.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you had those coping methods, because if not, we would not probably be reading this amazing book, guys. I'm gonna say you guys need to go and read this book. I tell you, you're gonna read it once and you wanna read it again. So we would not have such a book in our hands today. And the next thing is Tiffany, self-care at Tiffany. That probably would not have evolved. And that is probably the reason why we are here today, in that you've been nominated, you know, for entrepreneur excellence. So actually, you really found purpose, because here you are being nominated, and this guys is not just Jamaica. This look right across the Caribbean, for top entrepreneurs. So, Tiffany, I just want to dissect a little. So we have the book. I know you could give a quick overview
Mhm.
of the book for readers who are listening and who want to, take a look at this book. And also, I want you to kind of go a little bit deeper into self care at Tiffany, because it's not one of the striking name. So we want you to get into it. How did it you come up with the name and everything, and also how we find your products and so forth. So so could you take it away?
Sure. All right. All right. So I'll just give an overview of the book first. Being that I'm on the book already. So Blue Hands, A Walk with Death Awakens Purpose, pretty much tells the story of my experience with death, my first experience. It tells the story of other experiences I've had, such as the one I just shared about, having my daughter, and it was an emergency C-section, what occurred afterwards, how I used all of those things that I went through to basically push into my business. So it shares all of that, but I'm not going to give you anything else from the book. I want you to go over to Amazon where you can find it, or you can shop it directly from us, and I'm going to give you the link afterwards. I also have a self care planner and gratitude journal, and this was the second book that I published. It has two covers here. So these you can also get from my website or on Amazon, and I'll share those afterwards. Now to get into self care at Tiffany's. The business was started and registered officially in 2019 in Jamaica. I started, however, in 2018. So it started out of the need to find a solution for my son who was born with eczema, Jace. He was born with eczema, and just as every other parent would do, they would find some of the most popular brands and the brands that are mostly recommended, and I'm not going to call any names, for eczema. I was using all of those products. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And at that time, I had transitioned back to my natural hair because I didn't have much experience with that either. My mom permed my hair when I was in grade 3 primary school. So I was toying around with natural hair, natural products, natural ingredients because I felt like I was poisoning my body, especially whenever I went to perm my hair. And it kept bothering me. I was having a lot of scalp issues, and Jace was having his issue. So I said, you know what? Why not use what I already know, which is my science background and everything, how to formulate certain products, and basically tie that into natural products that I'm researching, and also carry that portion of the fact that I wanted to become a dermatologist. That was my first, that's what I wanted growing up, to become a dermatologist. And my father being an entrepreneur, I think that one just goes through my veins, right? So I just kind of toyed and around with everything, and you know, put everything together in that moment. But I didn't do it by myself because the Lord pretty much gave me everything that I have today. I would sleep with my book beside my bed because I knew something was going to come during the sleep. And all of those things, I just wrote them down. I started formulating, and the first product that I made was the whipped moringa butter. And I wish I had it with me right now, but I don't. The whipped moringa butter, which I at the time was working as a medical representative. So I made the products, formulated, made the products. I went from there to different doctors' offices, pharmacists, and I kind of gave everybody a little sample and said, hey, try this. I want you to tell me your feedback and stuff. They tried it, they loved it. And wherever I could tweak, I did some tweaks and perfected the formula. And from there, I used it on Jace, and it worked like magic for his skin. He has no flare ups to date. So I don't know if eczema can be cured, but he hasn't had the issue again. And from that, I basically started business surrounding or around that product, the whipped moringa butter, and it helped a lot of people. And people started buying it, people started requesting it, and before you knew it, I had like 30 odd products after that. But during the time when I was ill for over a year after having my daughter, that's post COVID, what I did with that time, because business had started from 2019, COVID was 2020, but during that time period, it was only at nights that I would come home, formulate, and manufacture. So it was very small. I would bring samples with me, or I'd bring products in my car when I was going to work, and we started there. But 2020, when I had to be on bed rest before having my daughter, I didn't rest as prescribed. I used that time to really pour into the business. And from there, I saw where it grew a whole lot. Even the fact that we were one of the first, if not the first, one of the first to manufacture natural hand sanitizers in Jamaica that were tested by the Bureau of Standards of Jamaica. And we sold a lot. A lot. When I say a lot, we sold a lot of sanitizers across the island. I couldn't sleep. Pharmacies were calling me. Everybody was calling me. I mean, people from Kingston calling me saying to me, "Do you have sanitizers?" I sold so many sanitizers. Nothing else sold during 2020 apart from sanitizers. And afterward, I mean, things just started, doors just started opening. And I remember even before COVID hit Jamaica, I went to a church service with my mom one Sunday. And I remember the pastor was saying, he called me up to the pulpit and he was saying, the Lord said to tell you, doors are going to close for you, but there are also doors that are going to be opened. And I'm telling you, it was confirmation. And when certain doors closed, which was my corporate job, it wasn't totally closed, but I wasn't working as, I wasn't working during the time because I was ill, as I told you, during pregnancy. And I would say that door was closed, but so many other doors opened. I got calls from TVJ. I got all those advertisements and everything. Nothing came to me by me going after it. It's as if it was just sent my way. And from there, I just really just put my head down and just decided this is what I'm going to be doing. I gave up my corporate job that I was very comfortable in and went into entrepreneurship. And if you know anything about being an entrepreneur, you know it's a struggle. You don't know where your next income is going to come from. But when you're living your purpose, you're unfulfilled being in a job that is just a job. So I prefer to pretty much be on this journey, knowing that I'm going to be struggling, yes, but I know that there's a breakthrough coming one day. And yeah, that's pretty much it for how self care at Tiffany's is where it's at today. So now we have products in house, so you can get them straight from us. You can get them in the pharmacies island wide in Jamaica. We also ship across the world using Jamaica Post and DHL. We're coming to Florida. We now have signed off on a yes, Ian will be distributing for us as well as one Caribbean distributors in Florida. So the products are making their way. So we do natural hair care, skin care, and aromatherapy products. That's we have a full line of hair products ranging from shampoo, deep conditioner, leave-in conditioner, hair oil. For the skin, we have basically everything: bar soaps, cleansers, moisturizer, body scrub, serums, you name it, we pretty much have it. And we have candles and so room sprays and so on. And we try to keep everything as clean and as natural as possible. Right? So yeah, that's it. And you can find our website www.selfcaretipanies.com. So it's self-care Tiffany's, but my Tiffany is spelled differently. So it's TIPHANIES.com. And you can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, also on Facebook. However, we're not really much doing much Facebook, but you can still find us there. And for the books, you can shop them on Amazon or directly from us as well. On Amazon, you can type in my full name, Tiffany Smith-McLynch, and you'll see the books come up under my name. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't talk too much, Ian.
I think you have touched a lot of areas that a lot of people are happy to know that we have someone here, on this platform together we rise building our nation who can address many of the problems that they may be going through. And why I say this, you have just said a few things and I'm just listening closely. And I know there are a lot of parents out there who will be going through the same thing and still to this date have not found a remedy, as we'll say in Jamaica, to fix that particular problem. So we're not making any claims here that we heal as any disease or anything. But what Tiffany said
No.
in terms of her child and eczema, I can tell you that is something that many people face and a lot of kids. And I could say this, my child, I'm just telling you, you have moments when she will just break out. And it took Nikki a long while. And she also had to come up with some type of formulation, mixing this with that. And it took time for trials and trial. And up to this day, we have not totally get it under control. So we still have days of flare up. So you saying that up to this point, your son and I have no flare up, that's a big thing right there. And so it is good to know that we have local products manufactured right there in Jamaica from a holistic standpoint, you know, that working quite well. So that's big. Next big thing you mentioned, Tiffany, hair product. And I'm just gonna say this again. My wife, similar, she can put any and any hair product. She'll buy some of the most expensive product, Mitchell Beauty, like personal care, you know, until she could
Yeah.
find the right thing. Now we have two kids, meaning girls, who similar challenge. Even yesterday, I was at this particular store looking for a product for my baby girl because that's the only product that works with her here. She have tried so many products. And guess what? You don't want to see the
Change the
prices.
priorities.
So my friend and walked in with me the other day. I went to get a product for Gracie, her hair. And when I picked up the one product, just simple like I picked up a little bottle, probably not bigger than this. And when I picked that bottle up, when he saw what the cashier punch up and it was showing on the screen, I could see when he looked at me and
Yeah.
are you sure about this? But I didn't even let him know. I bought it, and when we were walking out, I said, "You want to hold the receipt?" I said, "This is reality, brother. This is the cost and true cost." You know. So I'm just telling you, there's a lot of parents and individuals who are out there searching for a fix, searching for help. So it is so good
Mhm.
to know that we have someone like you who is not just an ordinary individual, as you say. Your business was awakened by the fact that you went close to death. So you say this business, I say, was birthed out of this close to death experience. Your heart stopped. So you wake up and you wake up with a purpose and a passion. You have the love already for wellness. So when you're putting in and pouring in, you're doing this from your heart. you know so we already know you're gonna go the
Mhm.
depths to make sure we have some of the best products on the market. And being a nurse, guys,
100%.
being a nurse, we have seen how these simple problem that you may think simple problem, how much it affects a home. you know I'm telling you, sometimes when Gracie flare up, it's like you feel sorry for her, especially like if it's hot and in the heat. Wow, something else. So,
Yeah, that's the worst
it is
time.
so good, Tiffany, to have you in this space. And now, being awarded, not award, but nominated, you're going to be awarded as, one of the nominee for this Caribbean Push, you know, Woman Award. And this is Caribbean wise, guys. So it's not just Jamaica. And again, hoping that you heard the spelling of her name correctly, because I believe there's another Tiffany on there too. So I know we're gonna post the link for that you could go in and vote. But there's another Tiffany there. So just be mindful. Make sure you see this wonderful, beautiful face that's right before us. You know, and it's
Actually, it's
Tiffany
true.
Smith-McLynch. So make sure you cast that vote right, guys, because we want to have you all go over there and support her. Also support the business. So Tiffany, I just want you to tell us now the feeling to know that your time, energy, effort, the sleepless nights that you had put into this business, you know, taking the entrepreneurial route, the journey, walking away from corporate Jamaica, your job, and to see that it's actually being acknowledged. Someone out there see what you're doing. Someone out there believe that you should be recognized, and not just in Jamaica, but across the Caribbean for what you're doing. Could you just tell us the feeling, that comes from knowing that at least somebody cares about what you're doing?
Let's see how to answer that one. I feel firstly humbled because they could have, I mean, anybody else could have been nominated. So I'm humbled that somebody took the time out to really sit down and to go through, or maybe not one person, but I think it would have been more persons that had to cast the vote for me to be selected. And for that, I'm grateful. It's pure gratitude on my side. Even if I don't win, because it's my second year actually being nominated, even if I don't win the award, I feel I've already won because I am walking in my purpose. And even if it's one person's life that I do help to change in some means, way, or form, I am grateful. And I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. I'm saying it because it really means that much to me that someone took the time to actually nominate me and to acknowledge what I'm doing and to feel to feel what I'm doing. And I've I remember even having conversations with just random people through the business, and I'm saying, I'm just over here in my little corner doing my little thing. And the person said to me, look, you think that you're over there doing your little thing and nobody's watching, but we're all watching, and we feel the impact. And for those things, I mean, even when I go to expos and so forth, and for me, it might be very simple or just an everyday kind of thing, but just interacting with people and what they say, my customers, how they express themselves, it brings me total and absolute joy. One lady, she came to the last expo that I went to in Kingston, the JMEA Expo. And she came and she said, Tiffany, I came just because of you. And I'm saying, you pay money to come in here, so just because of me. And she said, yes. She said she loves the products and she just wanted to come and meet me. And I mean, it's warming, it's heartwarming.
Boy, Tiffany, and I was watching, from some of your posts um at the expo, and I'm like, man, I should be there. This is my home country. This is Jamaica,
That
and
was
I
amazing. You need to be at the next one.
yeah, but guess what? And what stand out to guys? I saw the Prime Minister of Jamaica at your booth. You just tell us
Yeah.
about about that moment. To have the Prime Minister of our country walking over to your booth.
Sure, no problem. It was, and can I tell you, we were there and we were waiting because we were told not to take down the booth or anything because the Prime Minister is gonna come. But it was getting really late, so we started packing down because I was like, no, I'm not going to keep my employees out, and they're tired and everything. So if we miss the Prime Minister, then we just miss the Prime Minister, unfortunately. So we packed down and sorry about that. So we started packing down and we heard that the prime minister is in the aisle coming. So we just put back out a few things on the table and everything. But I mean, he came up and stuff, and the experience was nice just communicating with him. However, you remember I told you after pretty much having my experiences, for me, I see everybody as a child of God, and really we're equal. No, I'm not the prime minister, but I love the interaction with people, and I love
I lost the voice. I'm not sure what's happening. You're muted, Tiffany. I'm not sure if you're hearing me, but I'm not hearing you. Let me see if I'm hearing you on the other side. All right, guys. I'm not sure what's happening there with Tiffany or even my side of it, but let's see. She probably will come back in, but if she don't, I just want to say to you guys that it's an awesome feeling that I'm able to bring on somebody from my community, somebody that I know quite well, somebody whose father would have been a role model for us as young boys growing up on that side of South St. Elizabeth, between Ridge and Melson, Rosa, Red Bank. You hear me, Tiffany, right?
Yeah, I'm back. My internet kind of went, so that's why.
All right. All right. So since you're back, we're gonna let you finish up on that point that you had. But I was just telling the audience more now about your father. You know, the fact that we have I'm just overwhelmed to be able to bring you on stage here today. The fact that you're from my community, the fact that you're empowering the community and you have taken it to, I say, the wider Jamaica and globally what you're doing. But I was just rooting for your father, Dennis, and us as boys growing up in that community. Your father was a role model for us. Not that he's a role model, as you mentioned, he's also in the business of entrepreneur. You know, he does everything to survive, and therefore you would have survived. And as we can see, doing quite amazing. But Dennis have done so much for the community. I don't think there is no other individual that would have done what Dennis have done in terms of for the young boys, especially boys who didn't even have a
That's so
purpose. And some of us have gone on and to represent Jamaica in cricket. Some have gone on to represent the West Indies in cricket, still playing in West Indies. And I could call one name right now that's out there, Marquino Minley. That's probably another big, you know, person in terms of coming out of the community, Rosal right there. But what many would not have known that his journey started on Dennis Van Bach, you know, traveling with us. You know, we were we were much older,
yeah.
so Dennis would carry us on the Van Bach to the play field at Ridge or wherever we're gonna have that game across Jamaica. He's gonna take us with
I
his
can't
own van.
forget.
He- yeah, his own
I
resource,
can't
his own
forget
money.
because I didn't like cricket. I won't forget because I did not like cricket, and I think that's because every birthday was a cricket game, and I it was tormenting for me. But as I remember you guys being on the van back and everything, and as a child looking on and seeing that what Daddy was doing with everybody, and just trying to build a solid team and a community. Looking at him as a child, I could see him as a hero. So my dad has always been my hero, pretty much in life and living. Yeah, hero.
Yeah, he's a hero for many of us. I can tell you that much. You know, I stand up and I speak boldly about Dennis and the work that he have done in our community. You know, in terms of I say sports. For me, it's sports, but he has done a wide range of projects to help others. He have given employment to many, and that's a good thing about him. He is not a selfish person, not a selfish bone in his body.
Mhm.
Put it that way.
He's a
In terms of
he's
the
a
way,
giver.
you know,
He is a
there
giver.
you go.
Yeah.
And now we can see the overflow as we have Tiffany before us. And now Tiffany is taking the wellness train by storm. And you know, you can see her purpose, the mission that she's on into making Jamaica a healthier place. I can tell you that much. So, Tiffany, we just want to say thanks for the work that you're doing. Thanks for the effort that you have put in. And I'm gonna let you get back to where we left off, where there was a little, I don't know if it's on both sides or just my side, but you were telling us, how it felt that you've been nominated, for this prestigious award and everything. I'm not sure where you got to at the point that, I wasn't hearing you on this side.
Oh,
So if you want to go
oh,
back
you
to it,
weren't
it's
hearing
okay.
me.
No, I wasn't hearing you.
Okay,
That's the only
sure.
problem.
Um, okay, so I was saying that I'm grateful because to think about the fact that somebody or a group of people could have sat down, taken the time to really nominate me speaks volume, and it's just humbling for me. So for that I give thanks, and I'm very grateful for the nomination. Anybody else could have been nominated and they chose me to be nominated. So for me, I've already won, even if I don't win. And I think I was sharing I think I was sharing, I don't know if you heard, but I was sharing just a little story with a customer of mine. I was saying, I'm just in my little corner doing my own little thing. So we were in a conversation and I said that, and the customer said, you think you're in your little corner doing your own little thing, but it's not a little thing that you're doing. And there are people watching you and they're seeing you and you're feeling the effects of what you're doing. So it's not a little thing. And for that, those things kind of ground me and keep me grateful. So every day I wake up from a space of gratitude. I'm a morning person. So the first thing I do, which is why I have the self-care planner and gratitude journal, because sometimes there are a lot of, and I know I'm drifting a bit, but sometimes
Okay.
we wake up to a lot of noise. And by noise, I don't mean music or the typical noise pollution. What I'm talking about, noise meaning people wake up and the first thing that they do is they go on social media, or they're feeding their minds so many different things from so many different areas, what society wants them to believe or to do. For me, I try to wake up in gratitude, just focusing primarily on the fact that I'm here again another day, and that my life has been spared, my family is well, just from a space of gratitude and just giving back thanks to God before I even do anything else. And I'm just grateful. I'm just overall grateful.
Well, we're grateful for the fact that you're here and doing what you're doing, after coming so close to death. So if you just joining, guys, this is a woman of faith, as you can hear, and somebody who came, I said, this close to death. When somebody have to pump your chest to get your heart beating again, I can tell you that's a miracle. And to be here with us this morning, going through a little of her journey. I think I'll have to bring back Tiffany at some other point where we be more specific in different areas. As you can see, she has so much going on. She wrote have books there right before her. She have the self-care at Tiffany going on. She also do a lot more stuff, guys, that we're gonna really have to kind of dissect to get you see the broadness of what she's doing, in our community and Jamaica and the broader world. So with that said, Tiffany, and with that close death experience, which have basically bring forth your purpose, your passion, what are some practical steps that you are now able to give to others who may be out there? They feel lost, they feel disconnected. They may be going through a disease process, not sure what to do, not sure if tomorrow is the next minute. Because you said you had time when you had that fear, because even a year after you're bleeding, that you may not wake up tomorrow morning. What practical steps could you give to those? And we know you're a nurse too, so you could just pull from everything and see how well you could share with the audience.
Okay. All right. So practical steps. So I'm going to speak holistically on this one. So I'm going to speak spiritually, from a space of spirituality, staying grounded, whoever you believe in. I'm hoping that it's God, that you believe in, and Christ. But having that relationship, I think, is one of the most important things. Not just when you're down in the valley, but also when you're high on the mountain peak. But when you're there in that space and you don't know what's next, he is who you should look to. So that's the next step you should take, really. Just building that relationship. And by building that relationship, it's not just by just going to church, and I say this all the time. It's about when your back is against the wall, and when there's nobody else looking, nobody else watching, and that conversation that you're having with the creator, right? So that is what is most important. And of course, other things, building, having that support system is very good at as well. So to have support during those times is one of the greatest things. And I have to give my thanks right here to my family who stood with me throughout everything. My family, my immediate family, they were very supportive. Also, my friends that are like family, those persons who I hold dearly and very dear to my heart. You know yourselves, I don't really need to go in detail with that. So build yourself, have yourself a group of people, a circle, because no man is an island and no man stands alone. So as strong as you feel you are, and because people are always saying, "Oh, you're so strong, you don't really need," because people don't feel like strong people need anybody, right? And I can attest to that because a lot of times people don't even ask me how I am because they feel like I'm so strong or you're always fine. But you need that community and that support. Another thing I would say is be intentional about your health. Be intentional about primary health care. So about pouring into yourself even before illness. Because I realize that a lot of people, the mindset, and it all begins in the mind. People think that it's too expensive to do certain things. It's too expensive to eat a certain way, to invest in us in certain things, whether it's vitamins or certain foods or whatever it is. If you don't invest in wellness, you are going to invest in illness. And you don't want to reach that place. Because for me, if I fall off all the time. So I'm not like perfect, but I try all the time to maintain certain things in my life, in terms of wellness and what I put into my body, and not just myself, but my household. And I feel like there are persons who need more education on that aspect. And I think that you should be intentional about how whatever you put it into your body at that point. So be intentional about your health and investing in things that will, in the long run help you to stay stronger and healthier. Also intentional about wellness in terms of fitness, keeping fit. And it's not just about, okay, having abs or having this, but it's about building your body so that you're stronger for later. Because now you might feel, yes, your body is fine, you don't have to exercise, and it's all well and good. But in the long run, when we're older, if we're not fit, you're gonna feel the effects of it. So do a little every day, and a little becomes a lot. So in the end, you'll realize that, hey, you got up every day and you were doing 15 minutes, 30 minutes of just maybe high speed walking or intense walking or whatever you do as exercise. You'll realize it pays off in the end. And this will help you to recover even faster. And I'll say, and I'll just refer, because I love stories, but one of the things for persons who know that my dad is ill right now, and he's recuperating well. And his doctor told him that obviously he used to be very physically active because there is no way that he could have bounced back. His body just kind of bounced back so well after surgery and everything. And it's because every single morning he exercises, every single morning. He would get up and walk in the community, or he'd do some exercise on the bicycle or something. And those things, they add up over time. Next, I want to say find something that you like to do, something that you enjoy doing, whether it is painting, reading, not just staying on your phone and staying on social media and just feeding your mind with all these videos and stuff. Yes, you can find things that are very good on social media, but at the same time, you want to take some time in silence and just feed yourself something that is, how should I say it? Sometimes you don't want to be in a room where you are the person who, how should I put it? You don't want to be the smartest person in a room. So we have books, we have everything that you can read if you're not surrounded by people who will inspire you a certain way. So everything is here. We have all the resources. So when you are in your lowest space, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, you have so many resources, books, go and read something, spend some time flipping some pages, download Audible, just do things that fulfill your life more. So you're living more fulfilled on a daily basis. So yeah, those are some of the little things I have to share. And yeah, I hope somebody gets something from it. And just to pour something else in for persons who don't know, you're searching for your purpose, you don't really know what your purpose here is. And I know it's a topic that is maybe abused, finding purpose, stuff like that. But in reality, I'd say go and read the book How to Ikigai. I did not know about this book, but really and truly, when I read the book, it is actually what I did, not knowing that this was actually a process that persons wrote about. And How to Ikigai tells you basically how to find your purpose. Um, and it says to find something that you love, something that you're good at, something that the world needs, and something that you will earn from. So, I just wanted to share that piece. So if you know about the book, go and read the book. If you don't know about it, go and search for it and find it. It's a small read, a quick read, very interesting book, How to Ikigai. And yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
We just want to say thank you for empowering us. And I know at the end of this, everyone on this platform will be empowered by your story, by the journey, what you've been through, and now to be looked at in the way that you have been nominated for this prestigious award in terms of entrepreneur excellence. That tells a story all by itself. So for the audience, if you're out there, any question you ask, you could actually just type that in the comment, and possibility is that it may just pop up right here on screen, or later we could go back and Tiffany could answer some of those questions for you. If there's anything else you want to know, you could always connect with me, also whether through Facebook here, through my WhatsApp, you want to call me, you want to talk to me, we are open to any conversation, especially the fact that both of us, our purpose, intertwined. Simple mean we both work as a nurse. We're both entrepreneur for wellness, not just any entrepreneur, but it's a passion that we have for healthcare. And I can tell you, healthcare is not what we thought it is or what it should be. It's more of a sick care kind of model that we have going on. And it's sad. So, when you have
Yeah.
people like Tiffany and I who will go all out to see how best we can help others, you know, it is good to see this, especially to know that we're taking it from a community level, from a grassroots level, and then you're spreading it out to the wider world. Not many will go the depths that Tiffany has gone, in that she had gone the fact that she had put things in a book. They say you should write things down. She have a book for us to all read. It also the products. She realized there's a problem in her very own family. She developed one product, and all of a sudden she said she has a whole line of products, that address different needs, from hair, skin, you name it. You know, she has something in that line, and we can check that out. But for today, guys, we're gonna say we want to go on that website, Caribbean Posh Icon Awards. That's it, right, Tiffany? And go cast your vote for
Yes,
her.
that's it.
You go cast your vote for her. And Tiffany, in the last few minutes here, I'm just gonna give it to you to just let us know what's next. What should be looking for? What's coming? Take it away.
All right. So what's next? What's next? Um, All right, so I'm working on two books. One is about my entrepreneurship journey. That one I will not give that one has a long way to go. So I'm not even talking about that one. But I'm working on a new release. It's a kid's book. It's called My Mommy is a Scientist, and it's co-authored by my children and I. So it's co-authored by my children, Jace and Kaylin. So because I'm big on family, and this is a family-based business. So what I know, trust me, my kids are well aware of what's happening in the business. They know about product formulation. They know a lot of things about these things. So we decided to do a little book. So we're going to be launching that in this year, further down. We don't have a date as yet. And also working on pushing out, building new partnerships. So presently we are building out our partnerships with resources and spas. resorts and spas island wide to try to tap into the tourism market, because the tourism market in Jamaica is so big. And I mean, we should be shopping locally and supporting home. So we're tapping into that industry, also export. So you're going to be finding our products more readily available in, for example, US and soon Canada as well. But we're taking our time, little by little. A little becomes a lot, and I mean, slow and steady wins the race for a lot of times. So we're coming, and that's pretty much what's there to look forward to. Something I've always envisioned ever since starting the business. And I know for some people, hearing you say certain things, they might look at you a certain way to say, you know, she's crazy or she's delusional. But I've said it before and I say it again. When I started the business, I started and I saw the business becoming a name that is renowned around the world and being off saying coming off the lips of people globally, right? And I see the products in households across the world. And I'm not going to stop until it's there, because I've built a legacy. I'm building a legacy for my kids, for my grandkids that I don't even know. But it's basically been passed on from generation to generation. So I might not feel the full effects of what is being built now, but trust me, we're not giving up, and it's because of you as well, our customers. It couldn't be possible without our customers or supporters. So we are thankful for that. Thank you very much for the votes that are going to be coming in. And I mean, I've already won because I'm impacting you guys on a daily basis. So thank you, Ian, for having me on the program. I'm very humbled and grateful to be on the program, or to have been invited to speak with you on the program. We've been talking about it for a while, but I'm happy to know that it could have been possible today. So thank you very much for having me on your platform, and I'm looking forward to doing greater things to come.
Definitely. And we just want to say again, Tiffany, thank you for gracing us with your time. You have basically unpacked a whole lot here this morning. I know there's a lot a takeaway, and also just your resilience, the journey, as you said, from Blue Hands. We're in the medical, so cyanosis, we know certain terminologies, but when you think about it, to be that close to death and to be here sharing with us. We are more than grateful having you on the platform. And we definitely gonna give you every bit of support that we can. We're gonna follow your journey with the books, with your products, and with this global award, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna cast that vote. And as I said, guys, just look out for the spelling of the name. It's too Tiffany there, but you're gonna see a face attached to it and you're gonna recognize it right away. And if you don't have the link, we can share the link. And just want to say thank you again, Tiffany, for being here. Thanks to our audience who, came on and listened. And the takeaway, guys, if you learn or have something, even a little bit that you can take away from here, I would say share it with somebody else. Just don't let it be there in open ear. It share it. If it was good for your ear, it could be good for someone else. So thank you again, Tiffany, and you have yourself a blessed day. I know this is not the last interview because there's so much to unpack and dissect, but we'll see you another time on the Together We Rise Building Our Nation and a social platform.
All right. Thank you,
So have
Ian. Have a
yourself.
great day yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.